Well, good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending with reactions trailing the suspension of Senator Natacha Akpoti-Uduaghan, lawmaker representing Kogi Central, despite an order of the Federal High Court restraining the Senate from proceeding with a purported investigation against Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan. The Senate Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct, and Public Relations moved to suspend Akpoti-Uduaghan for 6 months over alleged violation of the Red Chamber's rules.
Prayer one.
Yes.
That the Senate do suspend Senator Natacha Akpoti-Uduaghan for 6 months for a total violation of the Senate Standing Rules 2023 as amended for bringing the presiding officer and the entire Nigerian Senate in general to a public opprobrium. Those in support of prayer one say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. I'd put the question. Those in support of prayer one say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Senator Akpabio, Senate President Godswill Akpabio there, being the judge and jury in his own case. We know that the Senate has asked her to apologize, or they're saying that they might lift the suspension if she apologizes, which is very debatable at this point. The conversation is huge. But let me read some of the moves by the panel. Well, the recommendations of the Senate panel on Natacha Akpoti's seating arrangement, I'll read them. They say, 1, the Senate panel recommends the suspension of Natacha Akpoti-Uduaghan from all legislative activities effective March 6, 2025. 2, her office should be locked and she must hand over all Senate properties in her possession to the clerk of the National Assembly for the duration of the suspension. 3, neither the senator nor her staff should be seen within the premises of the National Assembly during the suspension period. Her salaries, allowances, and those of her legislative aides should be suspended, along with the withdrawal of all security detail for the duration of the suspension. 5, she should be barred from representing herself locally or internationally as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria during the suspension. 6, the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges, and Public Petitions recommended a 6-month suspension for the lawmaker representing Kogi Central. I thought it was important to read this out for our viewers who are just tuning in at this moment. But I believe Senator Orji Uzo Kalu had stopped, that, is it order 4 or which one was it? Allowing her staff probably to be able to, to be paid. But I think what we should question here is the fact that, her salary is being withdrawn at the same time that for her suspension. Many have argued that, other senators that were suspended still received their salaries. So, that's one of the biggest questions that we should ask here at this moment. But let me take a reaction to this story. This is from Shehu Sani, who wrote, "When I publicly disclosed the salaries and allowances of the senators, it nearly earned me a 6-month suspension. If not for divine intervention of Saraki and Ekore Madu's immediate rescue, just know that if you are there and you blow a whistle too loudly, you will be on your own. No senator will bring him head or neck to support you." And that is what played out yesterday, because it appeared that Natacha was on her own. Well, following her suspension, the Kogi Central lawmaker was escorted out of the chambers by the sergeant-at-arms. But before she left, she declared that this injustice will not be sustained.
This injustice will not be sustained. The pursuit for justice.
She was about to speak there. They turned off her mic. She was not allowed to be heard before the petition was delivered as well. What sort of injustice was that? Let me take Obieze-Kwetili's tweet. She wrote, "I hope those senators in the chamber of the Nigerian Senate today and the ones who conveniently disappeared all heard the last word of their inspiringly bold and unbowed colleague, Senator Natacha Akpoti-Uduaghan. She courageously said, as she left the chamber today, This injustice shall not be sustained. The wise among them will be hunted by this until her words surely come to pass. The unwise among them will not even understand what she said. For all of us that care about our democratic process and principle, we're glad that she said what she said. A woman like Senator Natacha Akpabio. And that really is how I want to start this conversation about what appeared to be injustice at the floor of the Senate yesterday. Rufai.
Okay. I want to talk facts this morning. A lot of facts. So I'll throw them around. Number one, injustice. It appears it's a matter of fact. How is it a matter of fact? The Senate Committee, Chairman on Ethics, violated the Nigerian Constitution yesterday. There was a court order served on him that the case should not go on until, I think they variated on the 10th of March, thereabout. But they said, oh, the National Assembly takes preeminence more than the court process. I'll read what the Nigerian Constitution says. Section 4, Section 8, Judicial Review of Legislative Powers. This section states explicitly the exercise of National Assembly powers or the State House of Assembly powers is subject to judicial review. Nigerian Constitution, not my opinion, not Rufai talking. Nigerian Constitution, the ground norm. Section 6(b), judicial powers extend to all actions and decisions. This grants the judicial authority to adjudicate all matters, including all disputes involving the National Assembly. The Senator Masue violated this because, as quoted in a Tribune newspaper, he said the National Assembly takes preeminence. Based on this, they didn't hear our side of the story. There was no fair hearing. And they wrote their reports hastily. The question you ask is, why did they hastily write the report? Because they wanted to nail her. And they read the report out, indicting her, without hearing our own side of the story in this. I mean, we've seen more egregious scandal. People were given the right of reply. You remember the case of Senator Elisha Abu, when he had the sex toy something? Yes, he was given the right of reply. We even remembered how he was shouting on the First Lady now during his session. And I think that session, you know, where he was subjected to the Ethics Committee was broadcast live. We saw excerpt of that. We saw the excerpt of the interchange. So Senator Natacha Akpabio also asked that this section should be broadcasted live, but no, they said no. They will not put it live. Secondly, is the case of harassment, sexual harassment. Finally, they've put that one. We'll see if they're going to investigate it. So everything looks like a witch hunt. And it is obvious and it is clear as regards that. So these are facts. People can controvert them if they want.
Well, before I come to you, Ayo, the First Lady of Nigeria has broken her silence on the feud between Senate President